Hi Sagittarius, happy eclipses. All right guys, the purpose of me doing this reading, like I say, I'm not a big advocate of moon readings myself personally because I think that's sacred space. Moon energy is very internal. It's, it's kind of where we recharge, we regroup with ourselves, we, nurture ourselves and all of that. So I'm not a big, but the energies are extremely overpowering here, and your reading is one of them, which is exactly why I'm doing this, because it's energy where people can really check out because they're just done. Like they can't find another way to get a solution. They can't, it's intense energy. And it's set up for you. These aren't readings. These eclipse readings are not readings for cross watching, because this is internal stuff it goes way back when. So this is the stuff that's coming out now, which is why it's so overpowering. It's hurtful. It's I don't know where it's coming from. It's overpowering. It's almost too much to ask of someone, right? But we know that's not true, hopefully. So I wanted to show you what's sitting here, why it's coming in, what it's trying to show you, where it goes from here, what you're going to kind of experience from it for the next 6 months. You're going to feel it for a lot longer than that. I'm a true advocate that eclipses, they can go years. And these are the strongest ones we've seen in our lifetime. I don't care if you're 100 years old. This is still the strongest one we've seen in our lifetime. And it's game-changing. It really is like, it's big, it's powerful. I don't even know how to put it into words that you would understand it. Not that I don't know how to find the words for the things that I see and that I feel sometimes. Anyhow, you're going to see the bridge here where the light comes in most of the readings. Yours, though, I'm not quite sure if you're paying the piper for something or if you're busting out. I pray you're busting out. Now, for some of you that are not in relationships, again, this is internal work that I'm capping out on here. I'm not doing specific relationships or careers or this or that. This is you. This is your soul and your spirit experiencing this eclipse. That's what it's about. But your reading is a little perplexing because I think that it's skewed lines that go back to self-sacrifice, right? Like I don't feel that I'm worthy, so I'm gonna sacrifice myself and get myself into relationships that aren't worthy of me. Somewhere along the line, you picked this up. You picked up this family dynamic way back when, and it may not even be in this lifetime. It really may not be. That's why I'm really doing these eclipses too, because I think this is it is a lot of past life trauma. It's a lot of past life spiritual trauma that it becomes very front and center in childhood, so it amps it up a little bit, right? But what we're seeing now are the ramifications of that and the clearing of that, and where is that coming from, and the elephant in the room that you just can't name, that feeling, that longing, that desire, that guilt, that separation, right? The intimacy with yourself, right? I think we shadow that over and cover that over a lot of times with fear, right? So we end up self-sacrificing ourselves for someone or something or a lifetime of stuff. Jobs we hate, relationships that suck. We're just doing it because there's a feeling, we can't name it, but it's a guilt, it's a shame, I have to do this because I must deserve it. That's where you're at. I think it's kind of like a compensation to pay off guilt, some of which you may not even be able to figure out why you do the things that you do. But I think you might be walking into yet again something here where I think you may think it's a goose with a golden egg, but I think it may just be something that might not be I don't know how to say it. I think that for some of you, and please no disrespect, because we all do this at one point or another, something triggers something where we think, okay, I have to, because it's our own fear. At the core of everything, it's our own fear that holds us back, right? I'll pretend to be the martyr for this person because I know they need me. They can't survive without me. Yet it's a shadow for us holding ourselves back because we don't think we could do something. That's what it is. So we're kind of twisting the nail there a little bit, right? And that spirals out of control with age. And it just, if we don't get a handle on it, it just shows up in ways that are very dysfunctional, where we end up, you know, resenting someone for something that we did. You know what I mean? Like, I hear this often too. I took care of this person for years. And then the person, you know, gets up one day and just leaves for whatever reason. And now the person who did the taking care of feels resentment because now that they just left. After all I've done for this person, they just leave, right? And I'm using this as an example. But the real resentment in there is that you wasted the time taking care of someone else because you were afraid to really do what you wanted to do. Kind of see what I mean? This is going to maybe set the dynamic straight for you. I honestly can't tell with the cards, though, because I think you're walking from the frying pan into the fire. But these are going to be different for everyone, and they're just the energies of things you really need to look at. If you're not currently, I think this does stem around relationships. I think there's intimacy issues with yourself. Intimacy, right? Who am I when I'm vulnerable? Do I even know, right? Or have I just been not looking at that and holding myself hostage? I think that sexuality comes into play here. Sensuality comes into play here. I think the dynamic between what would I do if I was in a relationship that was actually equal, right? I didn't have to take care of someone. I didn't play the martyr. I didn't, you know, cast fear somewhere else. What if this person grows? So I better take care of them to make sure that they stay where I'm at because I'm afraid to step out of my box. It's staying in things way too long, but things you shouldn't have been in. They're learned. They're not even your crap, but it's stuff that you just can, it's conditioned, right? So it's equal relationships and intimacy in that. Let's just be honest. No one wants to be intimate with someone that they're not, or anyone, right? How are we intimate with someone else when we can't even look at ourselves, right? So who are we showing up as? We're showing up as, oh, you know, it's not an enjoyable experience. Know yourself first, and then you're going to pull in people that you can put that guard down with and realize that they don't want anything from you other than to be with you, period. And that's a balanced relationship. But you need to be balanced first, right? And sometimes we learn that in a very dysfunctional way. Expressions of love and communication, and that's in how you show up. It's not just verbally, right? The paradox here, I feel, is off a little bit. I want to say here, I think that I would have to look at this and say you're kind of selling yourself here. You're kind of selling yourself a belief or a lifestyle or a relationship or a way of living that is just, it's not, there's massive insomnia in here. I feel that for sure, which automatically is going to say, I'm not thinking correctly, right? But you've got there's something just really off here. It's kind of like how do I say this? It really is kind of like crimes of passion, seriously. And that's the only way that I could say it. And one of these was your energy card. It was this, the 3. You've got to look at things different. You've got to look at your relationships with people different. Are you the one always doing, but you're not receiving? You want to look at that, right? Because the cards under it are this, not good, right? So some of you are either in relationships, dynamics in any way, shape, or form. This is like your domestic life. is not in a good place for you, right? It's really just not. It's where do I sacrifice myself to feel love? Is this love? It's most likely in here. It's kind of a shade of gray. We'll leave it at that. But if you keep going and you really pull the, okay. Know when to call it quits. Know when to call it quits. Know when to walk away. Know when, I think that little by little, you're winning the battles, but you're not winning the war in your life, whatever that is for you, right? But this is continual heartbreak. Why do I stay in things longer than I should? It's being exhausted, walking into battle time and time and time again. But the other thing is, and now I'm looking at these two cards here, I think you're about to give someone a second chance here that might not really deserve it. I think you might be fighting for something more for the conquest than the actual whatever it is, right? Okay, now let's go through these a little bit here and you can decide for yourself. I pulled clarifiers for everything. So we come in with the Magician, right? The power of love here. This is, I can make whatever it is happen, but I think that you need to be more on the receiving end of things. This is exploring more your feminine side. I don't care if you're a male. It's about receiving, right? Do you know how to receive? Oddly, some of us don't. It doesn't dawn on you until you're into something and you're like, you know what? I know how to take care of people, but I don't know how to let people take care of me. So how do we know then if we don't know that? It already tells us the paradox is here, right? Think about it. We don't even think about those things. So that's what this is. And the Queen of Cups is about reception, love. And with the Magician, it's and there's the cup too. Do you know how to let someone love you? Do you know how to love yourself? Do you love yourself? These are the questions, I think. These are going to be emotional. This is a powerhouse for these eclipses. That's why I'm doing these, because there is a silver lining. You do come out of this. It's just, it's overwhelming, like beyond overwhelming. All right. Again, I think this has to do with relationship dynamics. If you're not in a relationship, take this reading in, because one is coming for you. Okay. Now your clarifier here is the Six of Wands, which the Six of, it's actually called the Enemy card. But the Six of Wands, like I said, is the clarifier in here is I think you're selling yourself something here. I think you're on you're either letting people in who are, it's smoke and mirrors. It's smoke and mirrors, Sagittarius. It's smoke and mirrors is what it is. So you need to really look at what's driving these patterns. Okay. Now, consciously, meaning it's not, a lot of this you may need to do some research as to where it's coming from. And it may, like I say, not even be this lifetime. This can be a lot of past life spiritual trauma. It can be a lot of stuff. It can be you already coming into this lifetime because of something that was unfinished in the past, really making you feel like crap. It can really be like that missing gaping hole, right? Because in the past too, I'm going to jump around, you've got the moon in reverse, which means that you're really not in a really great spot. If your moon in your chart, like say you've got take a look at your chart, or have someone take a look at your chart. This is general, but it'll be able to fill in a lot of blanks for you. If you've got a bunch of planets, say over here, and over here by itself is your moon, you feel very isolated. You feel very cut off. You feel like you don't fit in anywhere. And it can actually be someone maybe in a past life saying you don't belong here. It can be something like that that's so traumatic that in this life you're to show up and say, I do matter here because this is where I am. But it's not allowing these relationships to come in based on you feeling like you deserve to be abused. You deserve to be you know, to get a crud relationship. You don't deserve to be on the level playing field with someone, because you do. Okay? Now you come in consciously knowing that you're looking for love. You are absolutely looking for love. You just might not know where it is, right? But that's your quest. You're going to look for it. But with the moon there, you need to look on the inside for this, because you need to really take care of yourself here first. Because the Eight of Cups it's patterns. It's patterns. It could be, you know what, I'm in a relationship, but I'm still looking, right? We can be in the best relationship, but if we don't love ourselves, that relationship, it's not going to matter. You know what I mean? Because we're not in the game, so to speak. But these are things this you are conscious of. This you can name and say, yes, yes, you know. So now what I wanted to do is go deeper with these. This is the foundation here with this. These aren't little occurrences. These are things that are showing up, but they're byproducts of a foundation here that stems back. I went back 3 to 5 years. So it's got some staying power here. And you've got the Two of Coins, and you've got lost money, which is the Five of Swords, which already is in another card of yours, right? The Two of Coins is really just you're confused, I think. I really think that you're just confused. And the clarifier is loss of money. So you could be gambling here with your life, basically. I think you're on thin ice within yourself. I think I think you feel like you're on thin ice, like you can't get a balance here. I think you've got someone too, for some of you, you're in a relationship. Like I said, I'm not going off point with these, but some of you, it's very clear. You're in a relationship and you're either letting someone or you're, you know, whatever the scenario is, but this is for your reading. But I think that you need to check what your value is, and are you selling yourself out for value? You know what I mean? Are you marrying for money? Do you stay in a relationship for money? There's definitely a money versus your value balance in here for sure. But I think the question here is at what cost, right? And this is kind of like the go back. It's kind of where the foundation is. At what cost are you willing to go to get whatever it is that you're looking for? What you're looking for is you and your value, but you're not going to find it in someone who continually, you know, buys you things or tells you, you know, how beautiful or kind or handsome you are, or, you know, so. All right. Now in the past, the energy that's coming through here, the relevant energy, like of right now, you've got the moon in reverse. That means you're really not, it's not a good card. You're not in a good place, for sure. You're not seeing things. You're not trusting your intuition. You might be jumping into something here. Now you've got the Ace of Swords here. This speaks of delays, right? But I've got to say, with the Ace of, this is why I'm doing this. This is like it's like honestly, God forgive me, and you too. It's kind of like an Anthony Bourdain moment here. And I'm not going to go into all that because I personally took a look into that. But it's just not good energy. But this will pass. I'm telling you, you'll get a handle on this, but you need to look at, and I'd be happy to do this for you. I'd be happy to go through your chart with you. I'd be happy to help you with anything that I can, honestly. You need to look at why it is that you sell yourself short, maybe, in things. You're looking for something that's continually letting you down, right? Something is continually letting you down. All right. Now, the upcoming year for you, what's going to be coming in is you've got a wedding here and you've got the World card. Okay, I think you might be, I really feel again like this is the last dance. I do. I think that you're going to, if you come into this, I'm going to show you what comes up for you. But this is what you're going to be coming into. So you're either marrying into a situation like this, like we just spoke about, or someone's pushing you to do this and you're doing it. With the Moon card in the energy here and the Ace of Swords, the Ace of Swords is saying you can do whatever it is that you want to do, but I don't feel with that Moon, I don't think your faculties are right where they need to be. Take a sit for a minute, like really take a sit. This will pass, and if you think I have to do this, if I don't do this, then it'll have the ramifications of this. That's a tough spot. But there's no higher ramification of, you know, I literally keep hearing like slavery. With these cards here, it could be that, I guess, somewhere. But I think it's how you feel, okay? Now, what you need to do in here, if you don't like this reading, which I assure you don't, you can do anything in here to change this just by changing your course of action. It'll change everything in here. No reading is written in stone. None. I don't care who tells you what. No reading is made in stone, right? You've got, you in here are showing up as the Five of Swords. That is what this card is. These are the cards that are sitting in your 3 to 5 year foundation here. And that's what you're doing. Right? It's loss of money, but what's happening here is you show up as the Five of Swords. Again, I think you're winning battles, but you're not winning wars. Or you think you're, this could be someone in, you know, I think that, you know, someone offers you gifts or they buy you things or you're selling yourself short here, literally. You're trading your value for monetary gifts, right? Not really what you want to be doing, or you're doing that to someone, but you're not getting, if you're strong-holding someone to have to stay in a relationship with you, it's not, that's what I'm saying, it's not an equal relationship. It's, I'm going to dominate this person and then they'll have to stay. It's not a lovely. All right, now your domestic environment here, you've got the Page of Swords and you've got the Five of Wands. And given you've got the Ace of Swords, someone's playing games here with you. All right, now these are internal. These are internal arguments, but they're probably showing up now externally because of the choices that are being made here. Give me a moment. Okay. This is what's coming up for you. Okay. You need to look at your behavior in things, in like how you show up in life. What are the things that you're doing? Because if you don't take these situations, these choices that you're making in life more seriously, they're going to have really bad consequences. And I say bad because they're not going to be for you. You're selling yourself short somehow here, but these are pretty strong cards here. And you've got 3 5s on the table. You're trying to make changes. You're trying to make changes. Keep trying to do that, right? Okay, now in your domestic environment, again, like I say, you've got the 5. You've got the 5 of Swords and the 5 of Wands. The 5 of Swords shows up with Flatterer, and the 5 of Wands shows up with Flatterer, meaning someone tells you something nice. They tell you something pretty, and you say, okay, I'm not going to forget. I'll just pass over the crap that you just sold me, right? And now here you've got the actual present. Let's just look at this. Okay. All right. Your hopes, your fears, your anxieties. You've got the 10 of Coins, which is, it's old money. It's heritage. It's for you, though. This is your reading. It's for you. You are your heritage. You are there's something coming for you. Either you blew through money and you're selling your soul now, or there's just been really perpetual choices here that have held you hostage, literally, because now you've got the Page of Cups, the Page of Swords, the Page of Wands, all right, this is the energy that's coming through here. I'm going to say this with all the love that I've got in me. You need to wake up here, because that Ace of Swords is literally like you've got to see what you're doing here. You've got to get some clarity here. This can be a really, really good decision, or this can be a really, really bad decision. All right. I think, for some of you, I think you're doing something to please someone else. This can be family, which is where this stemmed from, though, originally. Now, your outbound cards, just look at this. Now, the Queen of Wands, this is someone who could get married later in life and be okay with that, but they don't do well in the beginning because they have they're trying to get their financials straight, right? But look at these cards. Someone is so strong-holding someone here. I mean, this just sums up the whole reading in a nutshell. Someone is really strong-holding you. But your clarifiers now are the Four of Wands, which you already have here. You've got the Four of Wands. This could be something that's being done to you in business too. It's somewhere in your life. It's not going well because you've got I think you've I think you've really sold yourself out here for all the luxuries in life. Because you've got 2 4s here, which absolutely speak of insomnia. So is this. right? And you've got massive, there, it's funny because to the naked eye, this would look like life is just beautiful, but on the inside, you know it's a train wreck. So that's what I've got here, guys. This was a little strong, which again, why I'm doing these readings. I wish this was prettier for you. Watch Gemini's reading. It was similar, but this, I think, is the backstory to Gemini. And you guys look at each other. So you're looking right at each other. So you're interlocked in some way, shape, or form, right? Okay. I really think you're sacrificing yourself here. I know this is going to sound corny, and I don't like when, you know, people don't like when I get like this, but you are a gift to someone when you show up as a whole person. What better gift can you give to yourself and to someone else is to be a whole person in a relationship? And it's not easy to get there, but this is, I don't, either the person that you've got you know, I think it's just repetitive being let down in relationships, right? But it's kind of because you're paying, you're balancing the scale in that way. So this is your reading. So these are your messages. So I hope that I helped you in some way. If you want to do a private reading, we can absolutely do that. At that $5 off the video readings, we could see where this stuff is in there. But I would digest this, let July pass, take it all in, and you know, this is what you're conscious of. We need to take in that, and we need to take in this, right? You can't blend these two. I don't care if it's shaken or stirred, on the rocks or straight up. You cannot mix these two. It's like fire and water, you know? Okay, there you go. I hope that I helped you in some way. If you need a private reading, please reach out to me. I think you're trying to make changes. I do, but I think you're getting strong-held by something here. There is no way that these eclipses will not help you out here. So you do have a door. I think you've got people that care about you in your life, but I think you've got others that are using and abusing you. So there you go.